Welcome back, everybody. It's Sarcasm Speaks. We got Jared, Bob, and Jones. Jones is back. We've been trying to get Jones back on for a couple episodes now, but we pulled it off. What was it? Last Tuesday, you were actually busy, like you had fucking plans, like you're somebody, like you're a somebody. And then I think you were just too hungover on Sunday.
Yeah, I think there was 2 Sundays in a row where I just couldn't find the time to get out of bed.
Yeah. Well,
So I
sometimes
apologize.
it's overrated. Well, it's good. It's good to have you back,
Thank you. Good to be back.
especially since we had some hockey last night. So we're here. We got playoff hockey, right? I talked about this in a previous episode. That playoff hockey is the best postseason sport, in my opinion, to watch. It's just electric, right? And we had the Bruins last night, and in classic Bruins fashion, they dicked us around until basically the third period. Right, like the whole first period, we were like, "All right, cool." Like they scored, they go up 1-0. We're like, "All right, this is cool, right? This is nice. They should be winning, right? They should beat this team." And then all of a sudden, like things don't look great, but then they score, so they go up 2-0. And as we all know, as Dats reminds us every day, the 2-goal lead is the worst lead in all of sports. And then Florida scored again. Well, not again. They scored for the first time to make it 2-1. And I sat there and was like, here we go. They're going to fucking blow it to this bullshit team. The second wild card that like barely made it into the playoffs. And luckily they hung on. Technically, well, I guess technically they didn't because it got called off. But for a hot second, they had a third goal in the third period, and it got called off. But after that, it was just kind of like, we got this. Like I felt pretty comfortable. Oh, no. They did score a third goal, right? Yeah, they won 3-1. I fucked that up. They scored 3-1. They should have had a fourth goal, right? That was the goal that was called back.
Halfway.
Yeah. Yeah, because the third goal was DeBrusk, and that cashed a DeBrusk anytime ticket for me. And obviously, in classic fashion, Vinny took DeBrusk as the first goal scorer in the game because he tried to get greedy, and obviously it did not hit. But my anytime goal did hit. So, fuck you, Vinny. But here we are. So we got Bruins hockey. Next game, well, for us is tomorrow, but by the time this comes out, it'll be yesterday. What are our thoughts? First of all, what are your thoughts on the opening game, and what do you think moving forward?
I don't think you played well.
No,
If that was a better team, you probably lose that game.
for sure.
That being said, they didn't. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, the sonic bug is gone, so everybody can get back. But it needs to be a sweep, I think. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Dats. You think they can sweep them?
I don't know. I don't have Nest and I can't watch the games.
It's on ESPN.
Oh, didn't know. But...
The playoffs are on ESPN.
Oh, either way, dude, I was asleep on the couch before the game started.
That's fair.
I was asleep on the couch before 7:15, so I don't know anything about yesterday's game. But like, dude, everyone already knows my stance. There's nothing to add. They'll be fine in this round. Sweep 5, gentlemen sweep, doesn't matter. They're gonna lose in 6 in the next round because they cannot win. They're cursed.
Yeah, especially if it's Tampa. Because I think Tampa's probably going to beat Toronto. Sorry to
Toronto can't get out of the first round either. There's rules here. Like this is the thing. There's 2 rules at play. 1, Toronto can't get out of the first round. 2, the record-setting team can't win the championship. So the Bruins themselves have a nice reputation of disappointment in second round and 6. So we'll just roll until then.
Enjoy it while it lasts. We got
I'll tell you right now though, anytime
9 more games.
So I didn't watch. Anytime you can get a 3-1 win where the only goal the other team scored was because you gave them the puck, That's a pretty good ass kicking in the postseason.
Yeah.
Regardless of how it looked or appeared or whatever.
And that's what it should be, right? With this Florida team is not that good. Their defense is bottom of the league.
They didn't play any last year.
Their goaltending is so over the course of the season, it's bottom of the league. That kid Alex Lyon, I thought it was Leon, but I don't know. I will say Lyon because that's what they were saying last night. He's been playing better. He played actually really well to end the season. But I mean, Baba Ganoush was hurt for a little while. I think he might almost be back, or he's like kind of ready to be back, but they're keeping him on the bench for now. Like they're going to run with, they're going to run with Alex Lyon because he, like I said, he finished the season pretty strong. But as a whole, right, as an 82 game sample, their goaltending was trash. And their defense was trash. So like they're known for their defensemen, I mean, are known specifically for their offensive prowess, right? Like I heard the stat in the game last night. The Florida Panthers defensemen as a unit have the second most goals in the NHL for a decor, right? I forget who the first was. Maybe Tampa, but I don't know. I don't know who it was, but regardless, like Florida's defensemen are offensive defensemen, right? They don't play defense. So, they're again, overall as a team, they're not that good, right? They were the last team into the playoffs. You should beat the shit out of them. But I think this is a case of like the box score didn't quite match what happened on the ice. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be a gentleman's sweep. That would be cool. But they're going to fucking lose in 6 in the next round anyway. So.
Yeah, because I think they can only play the Rangers or the Lightning. So either way, that's not.
No, it should be.
It would be the winner of Toronto and Tampa. The NHL doesn't reseed like the NFL.
Yeah, I think regardless, they play that winner no matter what.
Yeah, it is. The NHL is a fixed bracket.
I thought they reseeded for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, they used to, and normal playoff teams do.
Right. But now they do a fixed bracket. I think the NBA does a fixed bracket too. The NFL might be the NFL and the MLB. I think they reseed in the playoffs, and I think the NHL and the NBA are fixed bracket. So yeah, I mean, you're going to lose to Tampa if Tampa beats Toronto. 1,000%. I mean, if by some stretch of the imagination, Toronto wins, I don't know, you probably still lose to Toronto, but then that's going to be like,
that's a weird,
that's going to be like
glitch.
Yeah. That's going to be the equivalent of like me and Vinny betting on a game on opposite sides, right? Like what the fuck is going to happen? Because you have the Bruins who need to lose in the second round, and Toronto needs to lose in the first round, but they won. So now they'll probably lose in the second round, but the Bruins need to lose in the second round. So it's like, yeah, it's a glitch in the matrix for sure. So yeah, speaking of glitches in the matrix, I guess, I don't know how I'm going to tie that in. That was a shitty segue, but because it has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. But Joan, I was just filling Jones in before you hopped on, Dats, that I just spent the last, I don't know, probably hour and a half with a rep from Right Window because we need new windows in the house, right? Our windows suck. They're drafty, right? In the wintertime, you can literally stand next to them, and if you hold your hand out, you can feel a breeze coming through the windows when they're closed.
Do you not want that?
No. I also,
you're diminishing the benefits of fresh air,
especially since we have oil heat. I would like to not have to run my heating system literally 24/7 from like Thanksgiving to St. Patrick's Day. That would be kind of nice to not have to do that. Yeah, and to not have to pay $700 a month to for an oil delivery would be pretty cool.
How many windows are you looking to get fucking fixed? So you might be looking at $700 a month.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at here. It is not fucking cheap for Windows. So we need to replace 17 windows, right? So this is one of those things too where you start out like, you know, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you're like, oh, we got this. Like, it's fine, whatever. Like, I talked to someone, like, Amy had her friends over for brunch last Saturday, and when I got back from golfing and food shopping, they were here, and I was talking to one of them, and she was like, oh yeah, no, I got a window guy, probably, get this all done for like, 16, maybe 15, 16 grand. And I was like, okay, that's not awful, right? It's not the worst thing in the world.
Not for 17 windows.
Yeah, well, so that's just on our side. That's what we had to decide because the entire house has 24 windows that we need to replace. So I'll get there. I'll bring you through. As a fun story too at the end of it. So 24 windows in the entire house, right? And it's like, oh yeah, no, cool, awesome. So, and apparently this is just like some random dude, right? Who like, he's a general contractor who also happens to put windows in, right? Like, it's not like he's, again, like a Right Window or a Renewal by Anderson or a New Pro or any like a company that specifically only does windows. He's just a guy that will replace windows. So I have that in my head as like a number, right? Like 15 grand. Okay. All right. It's fine. So this guy shows up. His name's Dan. Shout out to Dan.
Oh God, we're off to a bad start.
Comes in, nice guy. We take him around, we show him the windows, we talk about like, what's wrong, what we need, all that shit. So we'll cut through all the bullshit of like talking about all the Windows stuff. I get to the part where everyone, what we're waiting for here. We'll cut all the fat. Get to the very end, right? It's like, all right, let's talk pricing. So he pulls in, 24 windows. He's got this. So, puts this in. The first thing he shows us is for like the super duper triple pane, the best they have to offer, right? The Cadillac of the fucking windows. And I look at the price tag, just under. You would take a guess. How much for 24 windows for like the Cadillac of all windows from this company? What do you think for that?
$50K.
Jones, you want to guess?
I was gonna say 45 to 50.
Yeah, Jones, you're pretty fucking close. It was just under $44,000. It was like 43 and change. And I was like,
is that installed?
That's like bottom line price. Like that's everything.
Like installed, get rid of the old ones, all that.
Yep. Okay. All that. Everything is included. No surprises, no nothing. So I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like I spit out my coffee and I wasn't even drinking it. So he's like, all right, I hear you. You probably don't want those. So he goes to like the next step down. And that was like 38 grand. And I'm like, all right, man, like you saved like five grand off the top, but like 38,000 fucking dollars for Windows. So he's like, all right, so let's look at the bottom tier. Like it's a standard, it's an Energy Star window, it's a double pane, it's still got everything, right? Like, but it's not, the other two. 24 windows, $34,000. So for comparison, my 2021 Toyota Tacoma brand new, I believe was worth $45,000. I think if I blue booked it right now, I think it would be like 30, 37, 38 maybe. So basically what my truck is worth right now. Like I would have to go out and like sell my truck to equal the cost of these windows.
No, you just pay it over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. So then we have to have like a discussion, right? So again, Dan, really fucking cool. I ended up talking to him for a while afterwards, just about podcasts. He has his own podcast. He might even be listening to this episode right now because I told him about our podcast. He might end up being a guest someday. Who knows? If you're listening, shout out to Dan. What's up? Maybe friend of the show soon.
There's no way he's listening until you buy those windows.
Yeah, he's like, if you're not going to buy the windows, I'm not going to listen to your fucking podcast. So fine, then I won't listen to your podcast. That even fucking matters. But so he's like, all right, I'm gonna pack up my shit. He's like, I'm gonna bring it to my car. You guys talk, figure out what you got to do. I'll be back in a couple minutes. So then we're like, well, Jesus fucking Christ, like, what do we do here? So we're like, well, what if we just do our windows? So like, obviously it's not ideal, right? Like we want to do the windows, we want to do the whole house. But like part of it was like, all right, if we leave Mary's apartment like out of it, it will save some money, right? So there's 7 windows over there. So he comes back in and we're like, all right, what about if we just do these windows, right? And he runs the numbers through his spreadsheet again, and it's like 24 grand. So I'm like, okay, 24 grand is really fucking expensive. Still, right? That would be like probably a Toyota Corolla. But it's not the end of the world. So we're like, we can put some money down. We can probably put, 5-6 grand down, which would knock the total price down to like 17 and change. So we'd have to finance like 17 grand. And then it's like, they go into the fucking payment options, right? It's like, well, you can do the 18-month no interest option, or you can do the 60-month 5% interest, or there's 120-month 10% interest. And it has like the minimum payment every month is like on the side. So it's like $370 for the 60-month and like $250 a month for the 120-month plan. And I'm like, all right. So, I ask, like, obviously I go, what's the interest rate kick to after the 18-month no interest? And he just laughs and he goes, 18%. And I was like, cool. So a credit card. So that's not an option. And he was like, yeah, man, I would not recommend that you do the 18-month program unless you know for sure that you're going to pay that shit off in 18 months. He's like, I can't sit here and like willingly know that you're going to get hit with an 18% interest rate when that thing expires, whatever you still have left on it. So I was like, all right, cool. So basically take that off the table because I'm not going to come up with 17 grand in spare money over the next year and a half, right? To pay off that.
Wrong attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have to start selling feet pics or something. I'm going to go on my footster.com. You can pay for my foot pics.
What's your blood plasma worth?
Yeah. Not enough. The answer is not enough. So yeah, we're sitting here like, what the fuck, dude? Like this. And again, super nice guy. Like, come to find out, we actually have like we know we have like mutual connections. So yeah, like I said, but by the end of it, we ended up just shooting the shit about like podcasting and like talking. And he turned and was like, honestly, dude, like I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm rich, right? Because I'm not, but because he invests in real estate. So his podcast has to do with like real estate and personal finance and like self-help, stuff like that. And he goes, if you don't buy the fucking windows for me, I don't really give a shit. Right? Like he's like, I don't need you to buy these windows from me. It's like, I'm still going to be able to like feed my family. Like he's like, I'm not worried about it. So again, like cool guy to hang out with, shoot the shit with. But that's a lot of fucking money. $24,000 fucking dollars. For windows. So the big thing with Right Window, and this is the draw for me, right, is they have a 50-year warranty on basically everything, including labor. So if 42 years from now, something on the window breaks, I can call Right Window. They'll send someone out to fix it for free. So like, again, the windows that were put in this house they're 20 years old. Amy's dad put them in, however many years, like over 20 years ago. So they're old. Like the insulation on the inside is like bubbling up. Like they're just old, right? Like they're Home Depot windows probably that are made to last for like 15 years, right? And it's 20 years and they're just not good. So what you're doing basically with Right Window is you're paying for the service afterwards, right? Is like I said, you have 50 fucking years to just call them to like come fix something and they'll do it for free. So that's where like that extra money comes in. But it's one of those things that's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, because then you got to think too, like, yeah, I can call that dude that Amy's friend knows and he can replace all the windows for 15 grand. But are we going to have to get them replaced again in another 20 years? Right? Because like Amy's dad was a handyman. Like he was he was like an actual man, right? Like he did that shit for a living. So it's not like one of us tried to put these windows in and 7 years later, it's a fucking draft coming through because we're retarded, right? Like it is. So what do we do? Like, what do you do, right? Like, do you pay the 15 grand for some guy to put in some windows that are going to last another 15 to 20 years and then keep paying 15 grand every 15 to 20 years? Or do you just pay 24 grand and literally not have to worry about it again for another 50 years?
Simple math would dictate the second option.
Exactly, right? Like it seems to me like a no-brainer.
Over a 40-year span, you can spend 30 or you can spend 24.
Exactly. And that's what I said.
Now I know math is racist now, but
math is extremely
I still
racist.
believe that 30 is more than 24.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I said to Amy too, like when we were talking about it. And I go, in the grand scheme, right, it makes way more fucking sense to do this because 24 grand once over 50 years is still 24 grand. But like you said, 50 years from now, it'll be, if it's 15 grand now, who knows what it would be in another 20 years, maybe to be 20 grand, right? So now you're looking at, because of wonderful inflation, now you're looking at 35 grand over 40 years or still the same 24 grand over 50, right? And then, God forbid in 60 years, Christ, if I'm still fucking alive at that time, just give me the cyanide pill.
I think windows won't be much of a concern.
Yeah.
Unless you're fucking licking them.
Well, if I'm still alive in 60 years, then I will start licking the windows, hopefully to lick all the argon out of the fucking windows. Just take me out of here. But yeah, so it's like obvious. And I said, so obviously it sucks, right? Because in the long term, it makes way more sense to do this. But it's shitty because right now it's 24 grand, right? Like I don't get to pay the 24 grand over the next 50 years. I have to pay it right now. So it's just
go rob the credit union.
Yeah. Yeah. It, like I said, it sucks now, but I think it's probably the way to go. So we have another guy coming on Thursday. Dan, cover your ears if you're listening to this. But he's coming from Renewal by Anderson, who, according to Dan, and again, he's a sales guy. Again, great guy. Would definitely have him on the podcast. Would definitely hang out with him. But he is a sales guy, right? He's trying to sell us on this. So like he was saying that there are some companies that are going to drop a price tag of like 60 grand on you. And he mentioned that Renewal by Anderson was one of those. He goes, Renewal, what was the other one? Hella. And there was another one. No, New Pro. They're all super duper high end, wicked expensive. He's like, you'll go through the whole shebang. They'll do this whole presentation for you. They'll make you feel great. And then they'll show you the price and it'll be like $65,000 for these windows. So we'll see, I guess, on Thursday. Most likely, I'm probably just going to end up going with this fucking deal and pay the money. Well, it's not like I have to fork up 24 grand right now anyway out of pocket. But yeah, the shit's fucking dumb.
All for Windows.
All for Windows. Seriously, all for fucking Windows. Like, what the fuck? So that's where I'm at. That's what I just spent my last hour and a half doing.
Sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, pretty fucking great. Whoever said being an adult was fun. Isn't it funny? Like when you're a kid, right? When you're like 12, 13, you're like, oh man, can't wait to be like an adult, like be on my own, like doing my own thing. Now it's like, Jesus fuck, like I gotta pay for so much shit. Like everything costs so much money.
I got tires for my car last week. Talk about a fucking racket.
Yeah, what was it? Probably like $600?
Yeah, 600 installed.
Yeah.
But I got out of that pretty easy though. Like you wouldn't get out of it for $600. You got bigger tires.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I bet $600 for fucking tires.
Costco.
Did they put them on for you too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they give you $110 off, and then disposal, balance, and installation is about $110.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything just seems like fucking way too expensive, right? Like $600 for fucking tires seems aggressive.
I mean, flights are insane too. Like I had to book a couple of flights for a few conferences I'm going to this summer. And I spent an exorbitant amount of money on just like stuff like local stuff like Atlanta and Chicago. Like the prices were fucking insane.
Yeah.
Well, if the conference is big enough, they know you're coming.
That's
true. Like, are your conferences big?
Yeah.
There you are. Yeah, it's not like the fucking, like a fitness summit.
Yeah.
You know, a couple hundred people.
Well, it's the same shit like with when we try and travel for the Patriots game, right? Like they know you're coming, right? We did that when they were in Baltimore. The flights, what was the round trip flight for the weekend of Baltimore? It was like $800. But then if you wanted to go the next weekend, it was like 180 round trip.
Yeah, that was comical.
It was like a 6.5x upcharge just because they knew that like the Patriots were playing in Baltimore that weekend. It's fucking absurd.
Do we know what we're doing for a game this year?
Scheduling out yet?
Yeah, usually mid-May, I think the schedule comes out.
Yeah, I'll double check. It used to be in April, but I feel like COVID pushed everything back.
Yeah.
And now the NFL uses like schedule day as a fucking thing.
Yeah. Is the draft this week?
Next week, next Thursday.
Oh, next week. I thought about that the other day. I was like, I haven't heard anything about the NFL draft. Like, isn't that now? We're like in the middle of April. But apparently it's next week.
I always thought they did the schedule release with the draft, but apparently
I mean, they might have used to do that. But I think they did push it. Because Vinny usually gets it, right? Because he's on the wait list for season tickets.
He gets what? The schedule early?
Yeah, I feel like he gets something.
It's always on Twitter. The beat writers on Twitter.
Well, yeah, they leak it. They leak some of the games on Twitter early.
I guess they haven't announced, but Thursday, May 11th would be like the comparable day compared to last year.
Yeah. Okay. I figured it was mid-May. Who are they? Do we know what the away games are?
Top of my head, I forget. I know Vegas is one. It was Dallas one.
I think Dallas is there too.
I got no desire to go to Dallas.
All right, so we got Dallas, Vegas, Giants, Steelers, the division, and Denver.
Denver, eh?
That fucking sucks.
I feel like depending on dates, it might be between Denver and Buffalo.
I sure as fuck.
I'm not ruling out Vegas. Because part of the thing with Vegas, we'll have to see how expensive it is, but a lot of people blew their load on Vegas last year.
Yeah, but I feel like Vegas is one of those places where people will go multiple times.
They probably will. But based on it so for me, Vegas just depends on how expensive it is. That's it, because Houston was fucking expensive. And I don't know if Denver's going to be cheaper. Dallas isn't going to be cheaper. I know that.
No. Yeah, you'd almost be better off. I don't know.
Miami. I'm
shit, that's right
Miami.
too. I forgot about that. Forgot they play in Miami.
Really don't want to go to Pittsburgh, if at all possible.
Yeah, no, I'm good with Pittsburgh.
I was there for 6 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go there for work, I think.
What did you say it was the division?
Year.
The division? Pittsburgh, Denver, Dallas,
Vegas.
Vegas. We're missing one.
Giants.
Oh, Giants.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, fuck the Giants.
And we have 9 home games.
Yeah. Yeah, I have zero interest in going to fucking New Jersey.
I'm not going to New Jersey under any circumstance. Even if it's like something where I've been to all 29 stadiums and I haven't been to fucking MetLife, I'm still probably not going to go.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also trying to pull this up because I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. I look at Jets, Giants out. Jones, you don't do Pittsburgh. Dallas is going to be stupid. So that leaves Buffalo, Denver, Vegas, Miami.
Yeah. And I think it depends on
Buffalo depends on weather for me.
Yeah. And price. So it's like, when does it fall on the calendar and what's the price?
Yeah. Which last year should be anything that we can't fucking have our eyes on anything, because last year's away schedule was comical.
Yeah, that was
absolutely comical how stupid that was last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I'm not going to Dallas. Vinny's going to want to go to Dallas, of course. Jerry World might be fun. Yeah, I'm not going to Dallas.
Oh, what do you mean? Come on. It's Jerry World. Place would be electric.
Yeah. And I'm open to everything else except New Jersey.
Yeah. Fuck New Jersey.
I also wouldn't mind it if they go to Miami at the end of the year. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Really?
not like week 1 last year when it was like a billion degrees here and
I
a billion
feel like
degrees
they
there?
never play at Miami at the end of the year. They always play at Miami in like September or October.
Want to say it's not that consistent. I want to say I don't know if it's
Well, the one year, the year of the Brandon Bolden kick return, the Miami
I
Miracle,
want to say the Gronk game was in Miami too.
that was
Was that the same game?
that
The
was
Gronk
like,
game and the Brandon Bolden game?
yeah, I think so.
What about the Steven Jackson game? I felt like that was in Miami.
Oh God, now we're going way far back. Wasn't Steven Jackson on like the 2013?
2015.
2015?
Yeah.
Because Brandon Bolden game was what, 2018? Was that was that Brady's last year?
2019.
2019?
I don't know. I do remember it being in January fairly often. Again, I don't know if it's every other year, but I know like a lot of people don't want to go because if it's at the end of the year, they know they're gonna fucking lose.
Yeah.
So
2021 week 17 was in Miami.
yep, that was a loss.
So that's probably the last time. It seems like, oh, that's weird.
Does it look like in every other?
No, so 2020 was week 15 in Miami. So it seems to be a recent thing. 2019 was at Miami in week 2. 2018 was at Miami in week 14. So it seems like it's just been the last maybe 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It's been early in the season. Because it was week 1 this past year.
Yeah, I thought you said it was late. 2 years before that.
Yeah.
Whatever. My thing is, I'm not going to Buffalo when the weather could be fucking disastrous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Like Buffalo in January is
like going to Miami when it's hot. Okay, it's gonna be hot. Like, fine, but I'm not going to Miami risking a fucking blizzard. I'm sorry, I'm not going to Buffalo risking a fucking blizzard.
I wouldn't want to go to Miami.
I wouldn't either. They wouldn't know how to handle it.
Unless it's a cocaine blizzard,
You'd be
then
fucking stuck there.
They would handle that in about 3.5 hours. There'd be no more straws left. All the turtles would be saved. People would be running around with straws stuck in their nose if there was a fucking blizzard in Miami. So yeah. There we have it.
See how it shakes out.
What else we got going on? Anything?
The only thing I saw is Fox News got fucking. Well, I guess they got sued and then they settled. Thus, me thinking that they got their fucking shit rocked.
What'd they get sued for?
So, one of the election technology companies sued them, probably on the grounds of either defamation or libel or slander or various bird law offenses. The company's worth $80 million, and they settled for almost $800 million.
Whoa.
So they were asking in their original, they asked for 1.6 billion.
Holy shit. So are they going to get better machines now?
No, why would they do that?
The CEO is going to get a bonus.
The settlement just proved that everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we will do nothing to improve our voting system, and we will take all of this money and disperse it to our C-suite level employees. Thank you very much.
And they've also got another. Fox News has another pending suit with another software tech company, whatever. And they were asking originally for 2.1.
Jesus.
So you mean if
How
math
much
is,
money is Fox worth?
I don't know, probably a shitload.
See if I can find this out.
Well, the only thing that I took away from this too, because I don't really like care what side of the aisle you're on this one, but if you're gonna go around and claim like fraud and lies and this and that, if you're just making it up, then you should get sued and lose, which a settlement is losing. A settlement paying this much money is losing.
Right.
Like if you're wrong, you should pay.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah, you
Especially
can't
because
just
it's
like make up stories.
Yeah,
like
it's like-
that's
our guy didn't win, so obviously it was rigged.
yeah.
It's like, do you have anything to actually prove that? Well, yeah, look at the numbers and the reporting. I'm like, really? That's what we're using?
Yeah. So I looked it up. Fox News is worth 16.4 billion with a B dollars.
Just Fox News, good.
Just Fox News. Oh, basically $16.5 billion. So 800 million. So I mean, I'm sure it stings, but like that's what roughly 1/32 of their net worth or their company's worth.
Well, I mean, again, I would imagine another billions coming off the top. So just call it a cool 2 billion.
Yeah.
Because if they settled for half of the original lawsuit and the other company settles for half, 1.1 and 0.8, yeah, we're looking at like 1.9. 1.
Yeah, it's about 12% of their net worth, which again, it's going to sting, right? Like if you just take
12% of your
12%.
net. Wait, hold on. Was that yearly or was that valuation?
I don't know. It says according to macro trends, Fox News has a net worth of 16.4 billion.
Oh, well,
as
I mean,
of
giving away
April
12% of that's
17th.
pretty significant.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I
don't think it's
gonna
going to change
sting.
anything, but I mean, that shit's more than sting. Like, it should at least hurt. It
I
might
don't
even
know.
draw blood. I don't know. No, because again, net worth isn't what you bring in a year or isn't like what you have in cash.
Yeah. So now I'm seeing this other thing that Fox News has an estimated net worth of 65 million, which that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's anywhere from 65 million to 16 billion.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I'll tell you, regardless if it's whatever, they're going to be feeling this one because you gave a company 10x what they're valued at in a settlement.
Yeah. Okay. So I got some actual numbers here. You're going to have to like translate business for me.
I might not be able to. We'll see.
So their revenue is 13 billion.
So they make $13 billion a year.
Their operating income is just shy of 3 billion.
Keep speaking.
Their net income is 2.2 billion.
That's the profit. Well,
So
actually, sorry. Keep speaking. Keep speaking.
Their total assets are 23 billion. And their total equity is about 12 billion.
All right. So generally speaking, net income is their profit. So they profit 2 billion. I'm going to work backwards. So they profit 2 billion, which you said net operating income was 3 billion.
Their operating income was 3 billion.
Okay. So the revenue they bring in, something has to be subtracted from that. So there's something that costs them 10 billion to generate the 13 billion. So for example, if you bought $1,000 worth of shirts and you sold them to generate $4,000 worth of shirts. So your revenue is $4,000, but your net operating income is $3,000 because the price of the thing gets subtracted from that. Now that's easier with goods. Like it makes way more sense when it's a tangible product.
So what's the difference between an operating income and a net income? Because those are two, like it just says operating income and then net income.
Net income should be the profit.
Okay. So their operating income is $3 billion. And then they net $2 billion.
Yeah. So something gets deducted right away.
$10 billion.
Something, yeah, which I don't know what that is. I don't know, and it's probably some creative accounting.
Yeah, salaries.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like it's all just like, so when they say line items, that's because a profit and loss sheet is lines. So the first line is 13 billion, then they subtract 10 billion for something. However that exactly shakes out, I don't know how that works out for a media company. I really don't. Then you would have 3 billion. Then you would get into like all of your expenses that are deductible. So your rents, your payrolls, your settlements, your charitable contributions, like all that shit. That's all going to add up to $1 billion. Unless they're hiding some other shit up in the 10 billion, which they probably are. Because again, creative accounting, like if the product is the news, then they could probably say paying an anchor is the product, like in a way. You know what I'm like? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So then it's like the janitors and the cleaning service and whoever would be like in the payroll, but you know, the product is all the anchors and the faces of the company. Like they would probably be up in that higher one because you would argue there is no product without those people.
Correct. Yeah.
And again, I'm no accountant, so this is just me guessing and making stuff up to try to like see how this number actually like fits and works.
Yeah.
Because there's no way all those anchors get paid their money and you have rent on studios and programming and shit, and it's only $1 billion. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they're profiting $2 billion a year. That's probably what they're gonna have to fucking pay out.
Yeah. So they'll operate 1 year basically at
almost at a zero.
Yeah.
But what they'll probably do is find some expenses and shit that they've been deducting and just not deduct them, so it looks like they're generating a profit, even though like whatever. Yeah. So instead of being like, oh well, we lost money this year, it's like, oh look, we still profited $2 billion. What'd we do? It's like, oh well, we just left off a bunch of shit that we were writing off before. You can just do that? Kind of.
Yeah. No, but yes.
Yeah. If you know the tax code, just exploit it.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Well, you guys want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up.
Jones, you got a final thought?
Yeah, just a statement. I made burnt ends over the weekend, and I've never had them before, but they are very good. They're probably one of my favorite things to smoke now.
All right.
I saw that side-eyed, but I know I haven't.
Didn't you eat them at my house?
I don't think so.
You might have eaten them at my house.
I might have.
Because I definitely made it one time when you and Matt came over.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You guys could have been, you could have been bombed. I think he drove.
Probably. But yeah, they're very good. Actually, I took it from the Over the Fire Instagram page, which that place is awesome. I have so many things I want to try next. So, yeah, burnt ends, very good.
Yes, burn and smack. Dats, you got a final thought?
Yes. So when I play golf around these parts, we get winter golf which really is just like a fucking sham of anything anyway, right? Because
Yeah.
it's cold, it's windy, it's wet, it's mushy, it's soft. Tees are fucked up, greens are fucked up, whatever. And then, like, right when it starts to get like a little bit nice, they usually punch the green. So it's like, again, what is the fucking point of this?
Yeah.
So I would just like to I think I'm gonna, I don't know, is this truly like a eulogy? I might eulogize Kirkland golf balls. Um I use those in the winter because one, they were bought against my will. One of my clients was like, "Oh, did you ever try them?" I go, "No, I don't think I would use them." Da, da, da. He goes, "Okay, I'll get you some." Great, thanks. So we got, the box is 24, so 48 Kirklands, and I was using them in the winter, no problem, whatever. And last Friday, I played a match where I was the worst player in the group, and the weather was starting to get nice. I was supposed to have an event Monday. I got an event Friday. So I'm like, all right, let me start gearing up. So I throw the Titleist back in the bag. Again, whoever thought to go online and claim that Kirklands were the same thing as Pro V1s because they may come from the same factory has never hit the two of them. They are not the fucking same. Kirklands are so fucking spinny. They go so fucking short. I don't know where that narrative came from, and I don't know how it survived. Because I noticed within 2 swings.
I would say probably the people that play Kirklands don't also play Pro V1s.
But that's the thing is people say it's like, oh, I've played both and I like the Kirklands better. And I'm like,
Have you?
One, have you? Or two, like, how can you make that claim?
Yeah, I mean, I've played Pro V1s that I've picked up out of the woods. Like, that doesn't mean that I've played Pro V1s. You know what I mean? Like, I would imagine some people are like that. Well, I've hit a Pro V1 before and I've hit Kirkland. I like the Kirkland better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you hit a Pro V1 like shit and hit a Kirkland like pretty good, then I guess they'll go the same distance.
Yeah, I mean, some of
know.
that probably has to do with like just the inconsistencies of the swing.
Yeah, I mean, because theoretically, if you hit a spinny, like if you hit a Pro V spinny and you hit a Kirkland good, then they're probably going to actually net out to be the same thing.
Right.
But my Lord, Kirkland's, no fucking thank you. Now, they could be for someone. They could be for someone who has a low ball flight and low spin and wants to actually play these things and actually hit them. But chances are, if you're debating whether you should play Kirklands or not, you can't tell me if you're a low or a high spin player or any of that, I'm guessing.
I would imagine. Yeah.
So there's a time and a place, and I think it's at West Bridgewater in fucking March. Because outside of that, I just don't see a lot of use for them.
I never really realized how much the ball came into play until like last year. So I started following My Golf Spy on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like they do all like the product testing and all stuff like that. If you don't know about them, they're great. Like if you do golf, like I said, they product test everything, like literally everything you could think of, from clubs to gloves to golf bags, like to golf brushes.
They probably do some stuff on shoes too.
Yeah, like literally anything you could think of when it comes to golf, they've done product tests for it. So it's all great. Go to the website, mygolfspy.com. Not a sponsor of the show. They don't do sponsorships, but it's a really, really helpful website. So I have no problem giving them a free ad. And like when I started reading about like the golf balls and like the different things that happen with different balls, and then I actually like tested it out, right? Because for the longest time, I basically strictly ever played with Callaway Super Softs, right? Like that's basically like once I graduated out of buying the recycled pack of balls, I was like, oh yeah, I like Callaway Super Soft. Like, yeah, sure, they're cheap, right? They're $23 a dozen. As far as golf balls go, that's on the cheap side.
Oh, and they go so fucking far.
They go really
They're
far.
great.
They go really, really far.
I love hitting those in fucking scrambles.
But yeah, then I like switched some balls around and like, oh wow, like that really. And again, I am also one of those people that swing inconsistencies, right, will come into play more than the ball itself. But I do notice like the times I do make good contact, the ball has a lot to do with it, right? Like I have some Titleist True Feels that Amy gets from work, because they spend so much money through Uline, like that company, that Uline sends them like free shit like every now and then, and Amy gets to pick what they get. So she picks like the golf balls. We have so many fucking Titleist True Line golf balls with a Uline stamp on them. It's kind of nice because then I never have to mark the balls. Because I'm like, oh, is it Uline? People are like, yeah, why the fuck does it say Uline? Like, yeah, whatever. So those compared to the Snells, right? The Snell Black, totally different. I love the Snell Blacks too. I think they're probably my favorite ball. Again, I don't play with Pro V1s, I'm sure, like, and again, I don't have a consistent swing. So, but the times I do make the good contact, I feel like my game is really at its best with the Snell MTB Blacks, which now aren't the black. Now they're the prime, whatever fucks now, which I haven't played with. I probably won't take those out until it actually gets a little bit nicer. So I'll continue playing my Titleist True Feels and my Callaway Super Softs. But yeah, and that was the other thing when I went for my club fitting. The guy Jeff brought up that like you should probably like cycle your ball, right? He's like, there's no reason to pay 45, or no, it's not, it's 54, right? $54 a dozen for Pro V1s. Is it 54 or 45?
They ain't 45 anymore.
So it's probably 54.
Yeah, closer to 60.
He's like, there's no need to pay $54 a dozen for Pro V1s in fucking March. He was like, just buy cheap balls. Like, but he also mentioned that like getting fitted for a ball is a thing.
Yeah, I've never done one of those. It's also hard because to do a ball fitting, you usually have to go to the manufacturer. So it's like you want to get fitted for a ball and you go to Titleist. Well, you're going to get fit for Titleist. They're not going to fit you for a fucking Callaway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
Ballnamic is an online tool you can use. It's like $40 and they make like a recommendation. But the only thing is you need to have launch monitor data.
Oh, okay.
If you want to get like a real recommendation, like it's not ideal. Like it's not ideal otherwise.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, Kirkland's, they are not it.
Fuck them. All right. So my final thought, I'm going to go back to the food realm, like Jones here. And I recently purchased ghee and I've been cooking with it. And I want to say that ghee is maybe the best thing in the entire fucking world.
What is it actually? I've seen it before, but what is it? What is it?
I think it's like
what it is.
Clarified butter.
So it is butter.
It's butter on steroids, basically.
But like that's what the product is.
Yes.
Okay.
So now the door has been opened, right? Well, actually, I'll get to that in a second. But when I first started using it, I think I went a little bit overboard, right? Because it just comes in a jar and just kind of like scoop it out. And I used way too much the first time. So also, you don't need that much of it, right? Like if you're typically would cook with like 1 tablespoon or teaspoon, I don't fucking know. Whatever the unit is you use to measure butter, you probably need about half of that for the ghee.
Clarified butter that removes the milk solids.
Yeah. So it's fucking delicious. It's rich and like thick. It's just
would you call it buttery?
Yeah, it's very buttery. Yeah, it's butter on steroids. I've been cooking like steaks and stuff in it, and it adds like an extra layer of like richness that's just fucking incredible. Again, when I don't use too much of it. The first time like I said, I used way too much, and I was like, wow, this is like eating fucking something like a fried steak in butter or something. I was like, okay, I got to be better about this. But I've learned and I've corrected my ways, and now I am so this has opened the door to me for now. I want to try cooking with all different fats, right? So I want to like go get tallow, like beef tallow.
Dude, why don't you just make it yourself?
Yeah,
it's way easy. You just buy like a massive cut of beef, butcher it up, and then like let it cook down over like, I don't know, 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, really easy. Another one is duck fat. Obviously, duck fat is fucking delicious. What's the other one? There's another one out there. Lard, I think, is one. I don't think I would cook with lard.
What fucking year is it?
Lard is pork fat. All it is it's like bacon. So lard is basically bacon fat that you collect, like when people collect bacon fat in a fucking can, that's lard. So you can cook with that. I don't think I would do that.
Dude, my grandmother gave me a cookbook from like fucking circa 1971, and that had lard all over it.
Yeah.
Like, what fucking year is it?
I can't remember the other one that it is, but so beef tallow is definitely one that I want to fuck around with. Like I said, I'm trying to do a quick Google search on what the other ones are, but I can't find it. But beef tallow and duck fat.
The same thing as the marrow.
No, because beef tallow, if you made beef tallow, you would take all the fat and render it down. So like it would literally become a liquid from cooking.
It's the same, like it's basically the entire process is like collecting bacon fat, right? Like you cook bacon, you collect the grease in a can, and that's lard. So like if you cook a bunch of beef fat, you collect it in a can, that's tallow, right? Like I'm oversimplifying it, but that's basically how it works.
Yeah, I think the only thing that makes beef a little bit different is like you can cook bacon or pork belly and it like does it for you, right? Like anytime you cook that shit, like it accumulates like a lot.
Yeah.
Beef's it's a slightly different process to get the same result, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I know. And that's why I said I was oversimplifying it, but
yeah. And then, but bone marrow is like a completely different product itself, which I guess it technically isn't a fat because it's bone.
No, marrow. It's marrow. Yeah, it's like the inside of the bone. Schmaltz is the other one. So there's 6 different kinds of animal fat that you can cook with. It's beef tallow, ghee, butter, lard, duck tallow or duck fat, and schmaltz, which schmaltz is rendered fat from a chicken or a goose. I don't know why goose gets lumped in with chicken and not duck. I feel like geese are closer to ducks, but what do I know?
Yeah, I'd skip over that.
It's commonly used in the Jewish community because it's kosher and dairy free. I've never heard of schmaltz. Although now that I say it, it sounds Jewish. Ask me the schmaltz.
I'd be skipping over that one.
Yeah. Oh, there's a step-by-step guide here. that I found: how to render your own animal fat.
It's not that hard. It just takes forever.
Yeah.
It's like the lowest of low heat. And like, just fucking be patient.
Yeah. For like,
that's the thing, is like
17 days.
I genuinely think like if you butchered a brisket and threw, it's got to be like mostly fat. I think you can have a little bit of like actual meat. I think it's got to be like almost all fat. It might take just as long as the brisket to cook, depending on size of brisket, obviously.
Right.
Because that's what they do sometimes, is they cover it in tallow, wrap it, and throw it back in. No, I've never used it. I've only seen it at parties or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's also fucking delicious. So
we need an occasion to go buy the 16-pound brisket at fucking Costco.
How long do you think that would take to cook?
Oh, fucking forever.
You'd have to start it at like 4 o'clock the day before.
PM?
Yeah.
And go overnight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would. I want to say it would probably be something like that. Like,
you might be looking at like
a
close to 24-hour smoke.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know if an hour a pound's enough.
Yeah.
Never mind, how long do you have to leave that out for it to come to room temperature? They're like noon the day before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot.
Would feed a 16-pound brisket?
What'd you say?
Do you know enough people that would eat a 16-pound brisket?
No. Well, I know. Well, so I know enough people. I wouldn't want to eat brisket with enough people.
I think we could take it down.
So fucking what? The three of us?
Between us, Vinny
doesn't eat.
Bill.
Or sorry, Vinny doesn't eat until he eats, and then in which case it's all over with.
Yeah.
But it won't be brisket.
Does he have a palate 3-year-old?
Basically.
Not quite that bad, but it's a very he's an uncultured swine.
Gonna pick that up.
I don't know, dude. 16 pounds of brisket's a shitload.
It's a lot
of fucking brisket.
How much do you think you could eat in one sitting?
If I've been cooking it for the last fucking 16 hours.
I mean, I feel like I could.
Another thing, we need fucking shifts.
Yeah.
Someone's got to get up at 3.
I feel like I could eat probably like close to 2 pounds.
Fuck, man, that's a lot of food. It's a lot of beef.
Well, you think about it, right? Like if you go and get like a fat fucking steak at a restaurant, you get a prime rib, like a 32-ounce prime rib. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, I've never eaten one of those before.
Yeah,
I have.
I have.
Right, so like,
I'd rather eat a 32-ounce sliced brisket than a 32-ounce prime rib.
That's a take.
A 32-ounce prime rib is just too much prime rib.
No such thing as too much prime rib.
There is a such thing, and it's 32 ounces. Way too much.
It's perfect. It's the perfect amount.
No,
it should actually only be sold in denominations of 32 ounces.
24. 24 is the biggest that a serving of prime rib should be. And I'm talking like when you slice prime rib into like normal slices, whatever. 24 ounces is big as it should be.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm cutting it, there'll be some stuff that falls off on the cutting board. I'll eat that too while I'm there.
Yeah.
I mean, 24 is still 1.5 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Are we talking bone out?
Yeah.
I was considering bone out.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I was say bone in, that ruins the weight, but
no, absolutely.
24. It don't serve anything else on the plate for me. I don't need it.
So a trick that I learned from, I think it might have been Man vs. Food.
You need to mix it up.
You need something else. for palate fatigue. So you can actually eat more if you have something that's the opposite of like, if you're eating something that's savory, if you have something sweet, you like take a couple bites of it, you can go back and house way more of whatever the other thing is, which is a great way to make yourself throw up.
See, that's what I'm thinking is if I need to trick my body into eating that much food, then it's too much food for one sitting.
Well, with that attitude.
So let's just say,
Exactly that,
right?
attitude.
Like between the three of us, we could take down what, 6 pounds?
Well, I just told you I'm good for 24 ounces.
Yeah. So 32 ounces.
Probably a good 24 ounces.
I think I could maybe eke out 32 with sauces because sauce brisket is okay.
Yeah.
I could maybe eke out 32, but the next feeding is like, dude, I don't know. Like, I might not eat again for like a day
For like
and a half.
3 days.
Like, and even then I might just eat like raw lettuce.
Yeah.
So what did we just said that we're 6, but we're absolutely tapped out of this 16. That means we need 3 more completely disgusting humans.
Vinny.
And then we probably need like 3 to 4 more mortals.
Which is already
like Nick. I feel like Nick could put a pretty good dent in some fucking brisket.
Well, I don't want to speak for him, but I mean, if he's going to be disgusting with us, then yes. Nick, let us know. What is your predicted brisket intake?
And it better be in denominations of 32 ounces.
Yeah, and if it's not 32 ounces, you go to the mortal side.
That's like, now that I think about it, that's so much fucking food.
Beef. And it's
16 pounds.
Oh, God. Because I mean, like, even if
how much does that cost?
63 bucks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's less than $4 a pound at Costco.
Holy shit.
Pretty sweet.
Dude, you might as well just buy it and then just cut off pieces and smoke it like pieces at a time.
So I did
put
think
like
about,
the rest in the freezer.
I did think about buying one and breaking it into like 5 pieces.
Yeah.
But 3 pounds of brisket is still a lot for just me and Michaela to eat.
Yeah.
Because if I eat the 32 ounces, that leaves her with a pound. Like, dude, I don't know if she can eat a pound of brisket. That's a lot. And even if she can, does she want to? No way.
Yeah, she's an actual like real person. She's not a fucking disgusting pig like us.
Like yes, disgusting, fucking deplorable trash heap.
Oh man, that sounds like an amazing deal though. But
oh, it's so good. It's like $3.89 a pound or something.
That's nuts. Well, that is going to do it. That's going to put a wrap on it. Put a bow, wrap a bow on it for us. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, tell everybody you know about the show. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Website, sarcasmspeaks.com. There's a merch store that you can go to. You can buy some of our merch, like Jones is holding up over there, like that handy dandy coaster. You can get anything with our logo on it. Thank you to grillyourassoff.com. Use the promo code SarcasmPod to save 10% off your entire order every single time you check out over there. Also, thank you to mybookie.com. Use the same promo code SarcasmPod to double your first deposit up to $1,000. And actually, we have a new sponsor. The code might change. I'm trying to work on this. So the stuff is called Moon Brew. I might talk a little bit more about this on the next episode, maybe at the beginning of the show.
Explain it to me like I'm a drunk 5-year-old.
So people actually listen to it. Because I imagine as soon as we get to like the
people aren't even listening.
Click on subscribe and do all that shit. People just end the episode. Because that's what I do when I listen to other podcasts. But that's what I've been drinking. If you watch on the YouTube show in these mugs the last couple of times, because when we record at night, last couple of Sundays we've been in the morning. But I started drinking this stuff called Moon Brew. It's like a nighttime tea blend mix thing. It's great. So again, like I said, I think I might talk about it on the next episode at the beginning. So yeah, if you use the promo code right now, it's Jared1619. So unfortunately, when I signed up for this affiliate link, the only thing it had me do was enter my first name, my last name, and my email address. And then it auto-generated a discount code. So I was not able to select the discount code. It just gave me one based off of my first name. So apparently I'm the 1,619th person named Jared that's tried to get a promo code with them. So that's the promo code for right now. It might change. I'm going to send them an email and be like, hey, can we change this? Can we change this bullshit? I'm trying to use it for my fucking podcast. So we'll see. But if you go to moonbrew.com, well, actually, technically the website is Noon Brew. They have two different tea brews that they use. I like the nighttime stuff because it makes my sleep awesome. But if you use that promo code Jared1619, you'll save 20% off your order. So enjoy that over there. Again, I'll talk about it at the beginning. I'll open up with that probably on our next episode. So until next time, good night, everyone.